Good morning and hi crafters. So this is Roxy. Today is Sunday, November 30th, and we are under a bunch of snow here outside of Chicago. Didn't listen to the weather or anything, but by our measurements, we got, I think my husband said almost a foot. I don't know. Anyway, so it's kind of dreary outside, so let's go ahead and get crafting inside. So Greenery Lane, I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but this is coming up for customers as of January 6th in the January through April mini catalog. Demonstrators, whether you're a business demonstrator or a hobby demonstrator, you can order these items now. I also didn't tell you, yesterday I showed you the bundle, which is the 15-piece stamp set and the 10-piece die set. I forgot to show you that it's part of a suite. I usually don't buy suites, but I did this time. So in the suite, you would get that bundle, you would get this DSP, you would get this, what is it? Specialty paper of some sort. Natural hues, you would get this ribbon, and somewhere, I don't know where I put it because that's just the way I am. There's embellishments running around somewhere and don't know where they're at. So that's part of the suite. But outside of that, you can also buy washi tape. Now, I don't know if you remember the washi tape from the annual catalog, which is, let me show you, is this floral tape. And I have a video on that. If I remember, I will link it to, oh, let me unplug. I don't like how, does that bother you guys that I have my phone plugged in just because it was a little bit low today. So let me see if I can clip it maybe over here on the side so you don't see that shadow. Sorry, should have done that beforehand. Let me go ahead and clip it here. There. All right. Not so bad. All right. So anyway, washi tape. So we're going to go ahead. Today's card, we're going to use the washi tape and we're going to use some of the designer series paper. Now the designer series paper is called Nature Walk because that's the name of the bundle. The suite. The bundle though is called Greenery Lane. Let me show you this designer series paper. Now I have the A side and B side. I've flipped it over already for you. So let me just show. So you can see here's the main sides, here's the back sides. Let me put that down over here. Here's the main side and the back side. Main side and back side. Main side and back side. And when I say main side, it's what I say is the main side. It may not be the way it's put into the package. So there we have that. And then our last one that is like that. Okay, so for today's card, I think I want to use, yes, I'm going to use some of this and I'm going to use the washi tape. I'm going to show you how you can use the washi tape. All right, first things first, I think I want to cut this 1.5 inches. Let me bring this over. I have cardstock and extra stuff all over there. Let's go ahead and let's cut 1.5 inches. And we'll decide here, no, let's go 2 inches. And we'll decide here in a second how long we're going to make it. Because I could, oh, I had a piece of cardstock underneath there. I could make this the length of the card or I could make this the length of the layer. I haven't decided yet what we're going to do on that. Okay, so we have that piece of designer series paper. Let's put that right here for now. Washi tape. All right, now I have not used this washi tape yet. Let me go ahead and poke a hole in there. This was also on the pre-order, so this will be available again January 6th for customers. But demonstrators, whether you run it as a business or you're in as a hobbyist, you can buy this right now. Okay, let me get this unwrapped. Probably should have done that ahead of time, but let me go ahead. There we go. All right, so now with this from the Extraordinary Flora, you had to use the full die to cut it out, which isn't a bad thing because then you'll have pieces left over, which is what I have here. With this, it actually matches up to the dies, so you don't have to cut it all at the same time if you don't want to. Now let me go ahead. When you first start peeling this, it's like anything, you're going to probably lose the first inch or so. All right, I'm going to grab some soft seafoam cardstock and some, let me move my chair out of the way, sorry. So I'm going to grab some soft seafoam cardstock and some basic white cardstock. Oops, sorry. I don't use soft seafoam very much, so I had to take it out of the package. All right, and as you can see, this roll is 3.5 inches wide. I don't know, can you see that? Here, I put it on the wrong side. So see, 3.5 inches wide. So I'm going to do it the long way. So I'm going to cut 3.5 inches the long way on both of these. And then 3.5 on here. I don't know how this is going to look against the soft seafoam. But we'll see. So what you then do is you would take this and you would put it on your cardstock. Now this part is a little bit ripped. I'm going to start right where those leaves start. And it's not like you can lift it up, just so you know. But you're going to go, and I'm getting off a little bit, so I wasn't completely centered on it, but I think we'll be okay. And I'm trying to keep my hands here so there's not that many ripples or bubbles. What I usually do is I usually have my bone folder there, because then I can rip it off just like that. All right, so there's that. Let me go ahead and rip this piece off, because that's really kind of worthless there. All right, so there's that on your basic white. And I'm just doing this to get any of those little air bubbles out. And I'm going to try to stay a little bit better on this one, but we'll see. I want to get a little bit of length along that edge so I know that it looks like I'm straight. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Ooh, that was not good. All right, that may stay like that. Like this. And if you peel it slowly and at an angle, you can bring it back up. Oh, but it's starting to rip. So this is really strong compared to the last one. So the last one, you could just go ahead and bring it up. I'm going to have some wrinkles. Oh, this did not turn out good at all. I'm going to grab this bigger sheet, and I'm just going to go down the middle. That way you don't have that problem. the reason why you would want it straight is if you're using it as part of your, here we go, now this is better. If you're using it as a border on your card, but if you're just going to do cutouts, this method works just fine like this. All right, there you go. And that piece that you brought off at the beginning, I use that to keep my roll from unrolling. More than likely it's not going to, but just in case. Okay, so now we have that. And can you see the difference? Oh, shoot. On white stock versus on that soft sea foam. So now all you have to do is go ahead and take your Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, and we're going to cut out, oh, help if I had the handle on the right side. We're going to cut out some of those images from this. So let's go ahead and take out those dies. Now, when I cut on washi tape, I don't put any tape down, only for the fact that going through the first time, I never know if my washi tape is going to rip or not. So let's go ahead. Ooh, gosh, if I still have my pop. I know. Shouldn't have popped this early in the morning, but it was long day, short night. All right, so there I have it. And you know what? I really feel like let me just put a little bit near the top. I usually don't on washi tape till I know how it's going to react, but let's go ahead and do that just because this is really a tight fit with that stem there. Oh, it's not even sticking. Do you see that? All right, let me get a new piece of the Post-it tape. And I'm going to put it over on this edge here, just so if it rips, it's ripping my cardstock and not my washi tape. So again, I'm lining it up. I'm making sure that stem is in that cut part, making sure I can see edges there. All right, now let's try this. So there's that. And let's cut out a few more. Also notice those little tiny stars are on there too. So that's where, you know, I was saying I don't know why they had a single die and a double die. Well, you can see here is the double dies. Here, since those are the small size, they're not the two different sizes like here. So that's for the single die. So you could even cut those out if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with these bigger ones. And no, I'm not going to waste the edge here after I get my die cuts out. I will use that for strip sentiments. So I'm not wasting that piece of paper. Oh my gosh, why is it so tight? Hang on. Something else under there. Sorry, it was just really tight. Let's try this again. Yeah, I must have had something underneath there, or didn't have my plates lined up correctly because it was resisting a little bit. And you never want to force things through your Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. All right, so here's that one. You can see that one's just a little bit, oh my gosh, I can't pick this up over here. That's just a little bit of a darker shade. And And this one I think is way, way darker. Let's do this one here. So I'm making sure this is lined up here and the stem is lined up before I tape it down. So that's not going to be good. Let me do it like that. Yeah, I don't know what I had. Maybe did I have that underneath there? Not sure. All right. So now we have this piece too. So we have our, where is? Anyone who knows me knows I don't really have fingernails. Ooh, that was not good. I've never really had fingernails, and I think with the chemotherapy pills I'm on, nothing grows great on me. So, all right. So there we have 3 different, you see how that's from light to medium to darker. All right, we're just going to cut out, let's see, let's cut out a different one now. So let's go ahead and let's cut out this one. All right, I'm going to chance it by trying to run 2 at the same time. Now here, I'm lining up those leaves because I can't see. You should be able to, in this little dot here, I know you can't see it, you should be able to see green. See how here and here, let me bring it up because it's so far away you can't see. See that little hole right now? And maybe it's not going to show up on camera. You can tell when your stem is lined up because it gets darker. See that? But this part up here is not. So that's what I'm doing when I'm looking at it. I'm making sure my leaves up here are lined up inside of that die, and then I'm just pushing this over till I see that dark green come through. There's that dark green. I'm going to put this over where the stars are. Oh my God. Let's try that again. Sorry. It's also, because this is a slick surface, the washi tape, sometimes your tape doesn't want to stick, or after a couple times it doesn't want to stick. But I don't want to use blue tape on here, the painter's tape, because I feel like that is going to really stick on. And if this was just me crafting on my own, I'd be using the magnetic plate that was retired for quality issues. I've never had a problem with my magnetic plates, but Stampin' Up! Was getting some calls and they didn't like the way it was lasting or responding or whatever, so they took it off the market. So, but I still use mine. Like I said, I never had a problem with it, but to keep people satisfied with quality issues, they did take that off the market. All right, so here I'm going to do one there. Again, I don't see dark, I don't see dark. Now I see dark. So that's where my stem is. I just moved it again. And I think I'm going to try at the same time. I'm not going to take this one down. I'm just going to wing it. We'll see how that one comes out. Always a risk you take running 2 dies through at the same time, because even though they come out of the same batch, mold, whatever you want to call it, they might be different heights. And see, here's why you don't run them through it. See how that's off a little bit? I'll still use it, but it did. Both of them went off just a little bit. So that's why you usually want to just run it through one at a time. So let's do one more. One more of each. So I'm gonna do this one. I'm just gonna do it by itself. I'm not gonna use any tape this time. And I'm kind of putting my finger over it where it is so it doesn't move till it gets to that roller. Let's see if we did better. Nope, it's shifted again. So you really want to use tape. Now, I am not a demonstrator who will go back and edit this. You're going to see this just as I do it. So I'm not going to edit out my mistakes or my trials and tribulations. You're going to see it exactly how I experience it when I'm crafting. I'm going to try a new piece here. Well, I don't see. I think it's going to be just a little off still because I didn't see the darkness through that hole in the stem. All right, that's pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and grab that one from over here. Let's go ahead and put the card together because watching me cut out die shapes, I'm sure, is not thrilling for you. So let me put this back over here on my counter. But you can see I still have a lot more I can cut out from that one. And I didn't even cut out from the white. Remember, I also did it on the white. So you could have quite a few. All right, let's go ahead. Let me grab out base card. Oh, it looks like I'm out of base cards. Do we want to do it on this? I'm afraid that's going to be too dark. Let me see. Let me go back here. I'm afraid it's going to be too dark. You're not going to see. You know what? Let's go ahead and cut this down to a layer. So we're going to make this 5 1/4 by 4. Sorry, and I have everything piled up on my trimmer here. Probably why it gets so dirty and gunky with tape, because I use it as a storing. See, this is, I have everything sitting on top of it right now. All right. So let's go ahead. Feel like that's going to look okay if we cut that down like that. We start putting little snippets underneath here to come out. Or we could do it like this and have them coming both ways. No, we'll go across there. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 inches. I'm sorry, 5 1/4. I know, I heard you guys screaming. No, Roxy, 5 1/4. I'm not even sure if I like it on that white. I think yeah, I think I'm gonna do it on that basic beige. Be sure it be cut down. Those are all my layers in there. All right, so we're going to do basic beige. So let's go ahead. We're going to not lay this down yet. We're going to get it like here. We're going to decide how we want our die cuts to come out. I want it I want to just have a little bit of that out so you don't see how far off that is. And then we'll have some of that layered. All right, so I kind of will cut that off. We'll have that coming off the edge. We'll cut it off here at the bottom. So I kind of like how that looks right now. So I'm going to take, again, where did I put it? Right here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pick those up so they stay in the same position. All right. I should have used my press and seal. Press and seal always works better for this technique. All right, and that we're going to end up, all right, now maybe I won't do the DSP. Maybe I'll just do these pieces. Okay, better. All right, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put, because this was going up to here, remember? So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this. All right, I'm just going to lay it down, guys, because obviously my tape is not working like it's supposed to. I don't know if it's a cold weather. I don't know if it's because I'm close to a window and that cold is coming through. I don't know. Like I said, I do not edit my videos. You see me as I craft. And I've been stamping for over 30 years. I've been with Stampin' Up for 27. So it just goes to show you that we're all in this boat together. So what I'm going to do, since my repositionable tape is not even sticking, I'm going to put glue on these. This is the green glue, the multi-purpose Tombow glue. And I'm just going to put it on here. I'm going to let it sit for about a minute just so it gets tacky, so then I can rearrange it. If you put it down when it's white, as it dries, it's permanent. But if you let it sit for a while, it gets tacky, and then you can reposition it if you want. So I'm just putting a thin layer of glue on there. And now, since I've already glued down my layer, I am going to try to keep it on the edge. That way, I won't have any room to cut it off because I've already glued down my layer. So I'm looking about here. I could pop this up, but what would be the fun in that? All right, so now this is tacky, like I said. I'm going to kind of arrange it. It can go over the edge of this layer, but I don't want it to go over the edge of the card, just because if you're mailing it, that might prove to be a little bit difficult to get it in the envelope. All right. This is the one I really didn't like because it showed too much of the it being offline, so we're going to do it just like that. And then we'll do this last one. before I was going to have it go off the corner. Now I'm just going to have it see. I haven't really pressed these down, so I should be able to bring this up okay. Just loosening it under there. I want to bring this up just a little bit more. And bring this one up just a little bit more. And that's what you can do when you let the glue set a little bit. I haven't really pressed it down hard as is. I don't like anything being at full angle, so I'm going to have that hang off just a little bit. If I like where the placement is, now I'm going to press it down because now it will become permanent. I'm going to go ahead. I could use my Stamp and Seal, but since I have that washi tape, which tends to be just a little bit of a waxy, I'm just going to go with the glue just to be sure. All right. Hold it down for just a second. And now let's go ahead and grab, remember I said we could use the sides for a greeting. Let's go ahead and grab our stamp set. I'm going to do the Wishing You Well. Now, if you can see where that cardstock ends, or that washi tape ends on the cardstock. So I'm going to do this upside down just to make sure that it doesn't get on that tape. I'm going to do this in a brown only because, and I'm going to use Pecan Pie, only because it's nature. Most of the times I like doing nature in brown versus black because black seems so stark with nature. Brown seems more like what you would see. I'm going to be careful because I got ink on there, and I'm looking here because I don't want to go above there. So I'm lining up the tops of my H and L on the cardstock. You can see it went just a little bit over, but I'm okay with that. Probably if I did this edge, because I started going crooked, remember? Let's do another one. Let's try it on this edge too. We'll see which one we like better. Again, I'm lining up the L and the H. All right, so they both look pretty good. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to cut that one off. Oh, gotta take everything off of my trimmer, my Stampin' Trimmer. So I'm using it as a shelf, if you will. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with a line here. Now you can see that I'm going to cut off that Y because it's in the channel here. So I'm just going to move it over until that Y disappears right to that lip. And then I'm going to cut. All right, so now let's go down here. Oh, you can't see, I'm off the screen, sorry. Go down here, make sure that that L is not showing through that track. I'll I'm making sure that W doesn't show through the track. And there you have your greeting. Yes, I'll just put that over there for now. So this one I think I want to pop up. I think I'll do it down here so you can see some of that there. So I'm going to pop that up with dimensionals. I don't know if this is the one from Paper Pumpkin that doesn't peel up. Oh no, this one's peeling up. Usually I put a strip of cardstock on here if I know that it's peeling up okay. The Paper Pumpkin, the ones you get from Paper Pumpkin, sometimes the liners don't stick to your packing tape. So that can cause it, well, it means that you'll still have to pull off your little covers. But I put packing tape over mine so it will hang on to those paper backings. Did I say covers earlier? I meant to say backings. And that way I don't have backings all over my floor, my feet. I was using my Paper Pumpkin ones and my husband said, "What's this?" It was in the kitchen and it was one of the backings had traveled from my craft room into the kitchen. All right. So now I use these on the examples, holographic resin dies. They're in blue, so that means that they are in either an online exclusive or in a mini catalog. So I'll have to look to see if these are still available. I didn't. I'm sorry. But I use these for a lot of my examples today. I think I'm going to do 5. I usually do 3s. Oh, that one didn't hang on to the backing. You notice I always kind of push down a little when I'm picking these up, only because sometimes, like that, see, they're off the glue dot. So let's see, where do I want that 5th one? I think right about there, probably. And let's do a medium one. All right, so there's our card. Again, if you want to watch videos where people edit out, feel free. I hope you don't get frustrated that I show you real life, true time, even though I'm not live, because my computer and my program don't like the streaming program I use. It's difficult to use in the live. So, but I don't edit out my videos. So it is 6:24. You're going to see, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm saying. So you'll see that this is going to get posted right around that same time. We haven't finished yet though. And I have to find where my other cards went. Oh my goodness. Roxy, where did you put them? My 2 examples. They were on my desk, and of course I brought all this stuff out. Let me see if they're underneath here. No, they're not underneath there. Oh my goodness. Let me look at my side table here real quick. Oh, I can't believe this. Did I put them under here? Oh, yes. Oh, phew. Under my little storage thing here. So here's this. This I used just the stamps. And then I used my blends to do that speckled background. You know, just hit it on the bone folder to get some of that ink out. Again, using those same gems. See how they take on a little different look? And then here, this is more layers than I usually do. But here I just used all those die cuts to kind of layer a background, and then took that wishing you well and actually cut it out with my snips to make it look like it was cut out by a die, but it wasn't. So see the difference between these two? Probably if the video wasn't so long, I should have cut it like that. But so there you are, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Oh my goodness. Let me bring back Greenery Lane. It's the bundle, but there is the washi tape and the designer paper also available. Like I said, it's on pre-order right now for demonstrators. Customers can buy it as of January 6th. All right, guys. I know it was a struggle today, but if you don't mind, give me that thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Share with your friends. If you have friends who don't make cards because they're afraid they're going to mess up, show them my videos. Shows that you can pretty much fix anything. But anyway, I am speaking too much. It's very early in the morning still. I'm going to get this video uploaded. So have a great Sunday. Take care. If you're under a foot of snow like it seems we are, be careful when you're out there shoveling, driving. Just be careful. All right? Have a good Sunday. Bye for now.